Law of supply and demand. On a warm Sunday morning, the local farmers market in Arjun's town was buzzing with people. Vendors had set up colorful stalls filled with fresh vegetables, fruits, spices, and homemade snacks. Arjun loved walking through the market because every stall had its own small story. One day he stopped at Ravi's mango stall. Ravi was known for selling the sweetest mangoes in the market, and there was always a crowd around him. That morning, Ravi had only a few crates left. The mango season was ending, and heavy rains had ruined many farms. Because of the poor harvest, mangoes had become harder to find. A woman asked, "How much for a kilo?" 200 rupees, Ravi replied. Arjun was surprised. Just a few weeks ago, the same mangoes were only 100 rupees per kilo. The woman hesitated but still bought 2 kilos. Several other customers also lined up to buy them. Later that afternoon, Arjun asked Ravi, "Why did you double the price? Aren't you worried people won't buy them?" Ravi smiled and pointed to the nearly empty crates. "This year the farms produced fewer mangoes," he explained. "When there are fewer mangoes available, I have less to sell. But people still want them because they love mangoes. When supply becomes low but demand stays high, the price goes up." Arjun nodded slowly, watching another customer pay for a bag of mangoes. A few months later, mango season returned in full force. Trucks arrived in the town loaded with fresh fruit from many farms. Ravi's stall was now overflowing with bright yellow mangoes stacked in tall piles. This time when Arjun walked by, he saw a large sign. "Fresh mangoes, 80 rupees per kilo." The price had dropped dramatically. Arjun laughed and said, "Last time they were 200. Ravi chuckled. "Now the situation is different. Farms produced a lot of mangoes this year. There are many sellers and plenty of fruit. When supply increases but the demand stays about the same, sellers lower the price to attract buyers." Customers began buying mangoes in large quantities. Some bought 5 kilos, others 10, planning to make juice and pickles at home. Arjun finally understood what was happening. When mangoes were rare, people were willing to pay more to get them. But when mangoes were everywhere, sellers had to lower the price so people would buy more. Later in his economics class, Arjun heard his teacher explain a simple rule that governs markets everywhere. When the demand for something increases but supply stays limited, prices rise. When supply increases but demand remains steady, prices fall. Arjun smiled to himself. He had already seen this rule in action, not in a textbook diagram, but at Ravi's mango stall in the lively Sunday market. A perfect example of the law of supply and demand working quietly in everyday life. This story shows that prices in a market change based on supply and demand. When a product is scarce, low supply, but many people still want it, high demand, the price increases. When there is plenty of supply and many sellers, the price decreases to attract buyers. In simple terms, the law of supply and demand explains how the availability of goods and people's desire to buy them together determine the price in a market.